What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Wait What Are We Talking About podcast, episode 124. My name is Bret, aka Enigma9011. You can catch this podcast live over on twitch.tv/Enigma9011, usually every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can join the chat if you're a subscriber over there. We'd love to have you. But if you can't catch it live, that's A-OK. You can go over to YouTube and podcast services the very next week, where it's broken out topic by topic and put as one big video and MP3 for your amusement on the following Friday. Last but not least, hashtag add merch store and get all your swag over there. T-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more. Rep the brand. Support us. It would be greatly appreciated. Alrighty, so let's get on into this week's podcast. Recording a little bit late, but for good reason, as one of our topics today is about the pay-per-view last night, AEW Revolution for 2022. What a show. What a show. Just wanted to go over how the pay-per-view event went, what my thoughts were on some of the matches and how it went down, and where things maybe go from here. So yeah, overall the pay-per-view was great. Not that much of a surprise for AEW standards. They do pretty well with their events, saying there's only 4 or 5 of them a year. So Revolution was no different. They did really well with that long pay-per-view, 4-hour runtime, and then if you include the pre-show, 5 hours. So I'm kind of a mixed bag on this. Like, I like that it's that long because obviously it gives everybody enough time with their matches and nothing feels rushed or nothing feels not cheap. Cheap sounds weird. Tampered with, maybe? I don't know. Everybody gets their time. Everybody can show what they want to do and are given the respect to do that. However, obviously, it's a long fucking show, and you start to feel it after a while. And at some points in the show, it felt like even the audience, the live crowd, you could kind of see the ebbs and flow and energy, which I get it. I get it. You know, you can only cheer and go crazy for so long before you got to recap a little bit or reboot. So a little long. Funny enough, I watched the pre-show after the event, but let's get into the pre-show and how they opened up for their first hour leading into sales. So we had 3 matches for the pre-show. We had Layla Hirsch versus Chris Statlander. We had Hook and QT Marshall, and then we had the House of Black and Death Triangle with Eric Redbeard as their third. Fine matches here. I think Layla and Statlander did pretty dang good. There was one little hiccup with Hirsch trying to do a springboard, but nothing problematic there. Hook and QT, we actually saw Hook get hurt a little bit and actually have to fight back, but no surprise there. Hook's going to go over. Hirsch went over Statlander after cheating. And then we get the interesting one, House of Black against Death Triangle Pack, Penta Obscuro, and Eric Redbeard. That one was not bad either. That one was pretty good. I was a little concerned with how House of Black is going. This was Buddy Matthews' debut in the ring. I feel like they keep winning, so maybe this is misplaced. I'm getting a little worried for House of Black that they're not this big, ominous threat as much as I think they should be. And with them being thrown in this program with Death Triangle almost immediately, or at least, soon after their debut, it seems almost a little too back and forth. And I get it. Pac and Penta have some momentum behind them and our names themselves. So it's just, I feel like they should be portrayed stronger to make them more menacing, but obviously they keep winning. So, I mean, once again, maybe this is misplaced criticisms, but match was good. Buddy looked great with the rest of the guys. Eric Redbeard was a nice surprise, not super exciting. Took the pinfall here, so none of the other guys look, weaker or go down the rungs of the ladder, whatever you want to say. So, yeah, fine match. But overall, pre-show was okay. Nothing really to talk home about, So, Nothing wrong with that. Just crowded. Once again, an hour-long pre-show. And, all the other pre-shows, just like WWE does it well. They got to, sell the pay-per-view, so they got to see every video package we're going to see in the event, too. So that's just like, all right. Nice thing about watching it after, could fast forward through YouTube, so whatever. Anyways, we're going to get to the actual event now. We're going to kick off with an interesting one. We're going to kick off with Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho having their singles match. Once again, weird, at least by my standards, but I guess I get it, because Jericho's talked about, if I'm not going to go last, I'd rather be first. And then we had that whole Mania debacle with Owens when they're on second. He wasn't happy about that. So I get the placement for this one for that reason. Other than that, this seemed like a weird way to start. I thought maybe the tag match, which was next, would have been maybe a better, more exciting, no offense, way to kick off the show. But this match wasn't that bad at all. Both of these guys did a great job of laying in their shots, and both of them had some scary-ass suplexes in that match. First suplex, first move in the match from Kingston onto Jericho. It literally looked like he dropped Jericho on his freaking head. Woof, scary. And that would kind of be a pattern for at least, I would say, the first half of the night. And that's not great. Lady was watching with me, and it just, it was not great. How many people were being either dropped on their head, or things didn't seem to be as safe as probably planned or should be. We'll get onto it later with the ladder match. But yeah, immediately with Kingston dropping Jericho on his head, having to take a little bit of a breather there, and then Jericho returned the favor later by dropping Kingston on his head. Just, yikes. Overall match was fine. I didn't think it was anything to talk home about. Don't get me wrong. With Eddie winning here, good for him. Gives him a little bit of a buff, since, he's very popular with people, obviously, but he hasn't had that momentum behind him personally, with taking a lot of losses and stuff like that. So nice to see. Probably we'll see some more continuation of this story with Jericho refusing to shake his hand after and not being a man of his word. But we'll have to see how this reverberates, especially with Proud and Powerful being at odds with Jericho, then give him a fist bump on the Go Home show, and then what? Nobody showed up then. Just like, okay, yeah, right. We're going to move on to the tag team title match, the triple threat. Jurassic Express, Red Dragon, and the Young Bucks. This was a really exciting match. Slow beginning, but once they got into it, very exciting. A lot of good spots between the three teams. We had Red Dragon and the Bucks kind of teaming up against Jurassic Express, trying to weaken up Jungle Boy a lot to make, obviously, the pinfall later on much easier for either of their teams. And they were trying to keep him away from Luchasaurus. Interesting to see them kind of play or work together at the beginning stages. And really be buddy-buddy. Obviously, later things kind of fell apart, where they were eventually trying to get the pins themselves and breaking up the pin, being like, what are you doing, blah, 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 yelling at each other. But once the guys, all 6 of them, things started picking up. It was exciting to see teams kind of go on a little bit of like a momentum, or have that momentum go in, get their shots in, go quick, and then, obviously the drama building up of the kickouts after another. Couple criticisms of this match. Obviously, any tag match, AEW's been kind of known for this as well. Very confusing to know who the legal man is. And there was a couple times I felt like somebody entered the match later on after like something happened outside, or there was some kind of scuffle or whatever that wasn't legal. It was like the legal team, but it was the opposite guy. Like, I feel the Bucks got mixed up a few times, and O'Reilly and Fish did. Not the worst thing in the world. It was just like, did I miss something? No. Okay, just roll with it. Whatever. I guess it's as long as the correct teams are in there. Fine. Second, this one probably not that big a deal. Like, I get it. He's got a role to serve. So Luchasaurus, the whole thing of this show, or this match rather, was, okay, we're going to beat the shit out of Jungle Boy, keep him away from his partner Luchasaurus. Duh. Luchasaurus is the big man, he's scary, yada, yada, yada. Luchasaurus got to come in twice for, like, his, you know, the hot tag. Come in, do his stuff, kick some ass, you know, go from there. Great. Everybody loves it, got a good, you know, reaction from it. This man did like 30 choke slams. His moveset is very limited. Choke slam this, choke slam that, choke slam this guy, choke slam this guy. Oh, a hook kick, choke slam here. Just like, can we do something else, please? Eventually, you know, later on, he would get, you know, to do some acrobatic stuff, do a moonsault, do his dive over the rope, which is great. It just, for the amount of time he was in the match actively, little sad. It's kind of almost like he's taking a back seat to Jungle Boy in a way, like he's just there, and it's unfortunate. I don't know if it's like a stamina thing. I don't know if it's just trying to build him up as like he's the ominous threat, obviously because he's tall and he's a dinosaur. I don't know. I just kind of want to see more of a balance between the two of them. Like, obviously Jungle Boy, you know, they're trying to build him up as well, but just, you know, let the dude do more, or work up to a point where he can do more, I guess, would be where I'm going here. Once again, I get it for story purposes. Like, he's the big guy. We want to keep him out because he's tougher, just based on size. I get that. It's just, if he's going to be in there, don't let it be a minute long run of whatever moves he's got to do, and then all of a sudden the gas is out of the tank kind of thing. I don't know. Small nitpicks. But the tag match was a lot of fun to watch. A lot of fun to watch? Yeah. Very fun to watch. Jurassic Express will retain here. I don't know 100% where Jurassic Express is going to go from here. Acclaim seems to have a lot of popularity with the crowd, but I don't know standings and everything. I'm curious to know what team steps up to them next. Obviously, there's been a lot of rumors running around with the ROH stuff going on, and like all those people's contracts. Like, when are Briscoe's gonna pop up? But I would assume Briscoes are gonna go against FTR. So, like, if they ever show up, so like that's probably not the case. I don't know too many other Ring of Honor tag teams. My bad. So, yeah, I don't know. Is it a Proud and Powerful time? Like, do we finally get them back in the swing of things with their building momentum as of late? Unfortunately, obviously not qualifying for this match with either Battle Royale. But it's going to be interesting to see which tag team steps up next to go against Jurassic Express. I assume Red Dragon and Bucks are going to go against each other, or at least continue their, like, headbutting. And maybe Cole will still be the equalizer between those two. But how long is that going to last? Is it going to be built up until Kenny's ready to come back? Or are Bucks and Hangman somehow going to bury the hatchet? I guess we kind of saw glimpses of that in the past leading up to Revolution. But are they going to bury the hatchet, and then that will be the three? Tough to say. We'll have to see how it plays out. All right, so now we get to the face of the Revolution match, a.k.a. the donut in the sky. So we have Wardlow, Keith Lee, Orange Cassidy, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks, and Christian Cage. Okay, ladder match. Another solid one. Another solid match. Thinking back on it in hindsight. I would say the spots. The spot highlight is probably Cassidy. Cassidy probably did the most crazy stuff in this match, or at least most memorable stuff in this match. We did get a couple of moments with the big guys, Wardlow, Keith Lee, and Powerhouse, you know, doing the stare down, doing their moves against each other, which was fine. You know, you get to see that kind of tease the rivalries there. I will say Starks and Cage. More Cage, but Cage was filler. I don't think Christian did all that much in this match. He did what did he do? He was the first one to bring ladders into the thing by being offensive. And then he did one move off the top of the ladder on Starks. And that was it. I don't know why they, no offense to Christian, obviously he should be doing more, but I don't know why he was there. That seemed like a waste. And then Starks was good. Starks was fine, but once again, I can't think of anything he really did. We had a little bit of confrontation between him and Hobbs, but stronger heads prevailed, and they stuck with Team Taz, so they showed respect to each other. So that was nice. It wasn't every typical freaking, tension thing of like, oh, we're going to beat the crap out of each other. Now, I get it, it is an opportunity on the line for the TNT Championship. You got to look out for number one. But it was nice not to fall in the typical trend of things of like, oh, we got to hate each other. It was acknowledge. We'll go for the thing. That's it. It's not, we're vehement enemies now. I don't even know if that's the right terminology for it. But you got that. Other than that, Starks took the last powerbomb onto a ladder. A little sketchy there, too. Might have landed high. But he was there. So anyways, Cassidy was the spotlight here for at least the most memorable moments. So first, his entrance, obviously nonchalant, rolls into the ring and does a full length of the apron right out of the ring for the match to start. So he's out of the equation there. He had an interesting and fun spot where, he puts the ladder on his shoulders, does the whole whirly bird thing, hits some people that walk into him. Fine. He eventually is going to get stopped from doing that from Hobbs and Lee. And they're going to proceed to lift the ladder off of his head. But he decides to keep hold of it and essentially pull up himself, flip up onto the ladder, and then attempt to grab the donut. Fun move. Cool. Unfortunately, gets shaken, gets hit low by the ladder rungs as he falls. So there was that. There was another moment, I think it may have been before that, early on in the match. But the big guys, they had a stare down. They all huddled up, and Orange would spring on top of them and use them as the platform to kind of reach for the donut. Obviously, it didn't work out as well. So there's that. Then we get one more moment, and then this was with Keith. So I don't know what the full deal with this was. I don't know if Hobbs messed up. So the three guys, once again, are staring each other down. Orange happens to find himself in the middle. Oh boy, trouble there. Wardlow gets knocked out of the ring, I believe. Was it Wardlow? I don't know. Somebody gets knocked out of the ring. Hobbs goes to also hit, but goes full flying momentum over, knocks himself outside. And then Lee will take Orange and essentially chuck him over the top and outside onto 3 or 4 people outside. And boy, did Orange fly. I don't know if this was Keith throwing him too far. I don't know if it was the catchers not in the right position. But this man hit high on his 2 or 3 catchers, hit high, safely rolled, but landed right directly on his shoulder and up high, neck, lower or upper back on that red apron part, and ouchie, just did not look fun. So there was that. Lee and Hobbs were going to get eliminated by going through some tables that Wardlow pushed them through. Wardlow eventually win this a little bit later on after powerbombing Starks on the ladder, like I mentioned. So Wardlow's continuing his momentum. Not the last time we'll see him in this show. So Wardlow's going to win. He's going to get the donut. He's going to go for the TNT Championship down the line against whoever wins versus Sammy and Scorpio on Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. So, all right, good for him. Momentum continuing. Surprising that Keith isn't just walking in there, doing his whole bulldozing thing as the new talent does when they come in. I believe it was at this point we had a little bit... Was it now that we had our little intermission? And we had some news drop. Let's see. Trying to find it. I don't know. Anyways, I'll throw it in here now. So we get a big announcement from Tony Schiavone. Hey, we got a new signing. This is when Lady's like, oi, I'm going to bet you it's Isaiah Scott Swerve. She didn't say his full name. I bet it's Swerve. And I'm like, okay. Now I'm like, I've heard a lot of rumors about Swerve signing, but could it be somebody else? So I took the bet stupidly. It was Swerve. His name was on the contract. She saw it as he was waving it around. Swerve comes out. He signed AEW. Good for Swerve. Congrats. Seems like he's got, some fans in Orlando knowing it's Swerve's house. So Shane Swerve Strickland is now the name he's going by. I think that was the name he was already using prior. Swerve may be new. But anyway, congrats to him. Excited to see what he does in AEW. But now we get another talent on the roster that is already overbloated. But happy for him. Let's see where it goes from here. So now we're moving on to probably the worst match of this whole fucking show. Oof. I got too real there. We got Jade Cargill defending her TBS title against Tay Conti. Okay. All right. Hold on now. This match was just rough. Now, it wasn't rough because, they were messing up a lot or anything like that. No. It just was uncomfortable? Maybe that's the right term. So, building up to this program, Ty comes out, blah, 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 I'm going to challenge you. I'm, a Spitfire, and I, yell, blah, 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 challenge you, whatever. Jade, obviously, not taking this. I'm big, I'm strong, I'm yacked. Kisses Tay on the forehead to intimidate her, make fun of her for her size. Like, you're a child. Okay, makes sense. All right, whatever. Cool, it works. The start of this match, bell rings. They're barking at each other. Jade kisses Ty on the lips. Why? Was this just to confuse her and then get us magical pinfall? It seemed stupid. Very stupid start. So you got that. Jade had a very cool Mortal Kombat inspired attire. Was it very ring appropriate? Or not appropriate. Ring ready? Probably not. Ma'am, you gotta wear something under that. It must have been cold in Florida, respectfully. And it seemed like she was adjusting a lot. So, just not the greatest type of match. Somehow that went 7 minutes. Felt like an eternity longer. Anyways, Jade retains. Nothing happened there. Then we're going to move on to Punk and MJF in the dog collar match. Holy shit, that was a half hour? Damn. All right. This match was great. Slow, methodical, painful as all hell. Very good. These two obviously laid in their shots. Both men ended up bleeding. You could see the effects of the chains on one another and eventually the thumbtacks that were entered into this match. Solid match, really entertaining and fun to watch. And we got a little fun callback with CM Punk, calling back to his Ring of Honor days with the Ring of Honor gear and apparently AFI and his entrance theme from back in the day. So just nice little homage, obviously kind of following the news of Tony Khan buying Ring of Honor and having all the assets there. So just a fun little nod and tip of the cap. I fully didn't get it because I haven't watched him in Ring of Honor. Saw the gear. That was what I understood. But yeah, just a little, one of those Easter eggs, one of those treats for people who have been in the long run with wrestling and stuff like that, similar to the Marvel MCU, you're rewarded for what you know and your attention and being invested. Similar to that, just fun, excited to see other people excited and happy about it. But the match overall is fantastic. We did get an interesting finish here. Punk will win over MJF. MJF was going to get the upper hand at one point. Calls out to Wardlow. As we know, Wardlow has been his hired gun and is helping him out. Calls out to Wardlow, come help me. Well, just summons him. Wardlow will arrive. was going to give him the diamond ring, but can't find it in his suit. Shit. Must have forgotten it in the back. Punk will get the upper hand. Wardlow then recognizes, oh, it was in my right pocket. Takes the ring out and simply just places it on the ring, allowing Punk to grab it. And Punk will use that to finish off MJF in the match. So will this finally be the last hit or last string for Wardlow's eventually face turn good guy that we've been building months and months, or teasing wise? Seems like it. I can't see Max being like, oh, that's okay, buddy, and forgive him, but we'll see. So does this lead to MJF and Wardlow now feuding? The TNT title situation is a whole mystery. I don't know if Sammy retains. I don't know if Scorpio's given it for whatever reason. I don't know if you give it to Wardlow and then Wardlow and MJF go after it. Or is it MJF screws Wardlow out of it and that's more motivation for this? It's going to be interesting. A lot of pieces kind of being moved around. And yeah, we'll just have to kind of wait and see where that goes. I like the TNT title. I like the TBS title. It's just like the matches are great, but I can't really put a hard prediction of where it's going to go, or like if it means anything, because I do like Sammy in his matches, but I don't know. I mean, I guess it's good. It's not predictable, like, oh, it's going to go to so-and-so. But with it just being what seems like random people just getting shots all the time, not legitimacy, but for some reason the I guess traction of the title seems off. Like your main title, you go with whoever's got the best record, then you have a build to their story, and then it's like this big boiling point, and boom, they go after each other. And while this, I understand it's a TV title, and maybe that's, what I'm missing out of it, but it just, with it always being challenger, it's just like, I don't know if it's as rewarding of a title when eventually that is won by somebody, if that makes sense. But we'll have to see how all this plays out between Sammy, Scorpio, Wardlow, and eventually MJF when this feud continues. So now we get to the women's title. New women's belt for AEW. Looks great. I'm not surprised. I'm wondering why they decided to change it from the little oval thing to now this more kind of old school intercontinental looking title. Looks very nice. Just took me by surprise. Britt Baker with Rebel and Hayter against Thunder Rosa. Now this one took me by surprise because the match was great. These ladies did way better than the other two. Not surprised. Really good match. Back and forth. Drama. Dingo and Dingus getting involved. Not happy with that. But the crowd was so dead for this match. And you could feel it. I felt it watching. And once again, it's not because they weren't invested. I think it was just because there was so much exerted previously, especially following Punk and MJF. Like, it was rough. Very rough. At points, the crowd was silent during these ladies' matches. I think the loudest it was their their entrances. Big pop for each of them. Woo! A little bit of back and forth in the chanting, and then as the match was going, nothing. So the match was great, and not to have that fan response, I don't know if it messed with their heads there, if they could even tell. But it kind of took away from the match, if that makes sense. It didn't feel like anything was really impactful or meaningful or like anything. It just was unfortunate. It was just unfortunate placement, and that's something that I feel AEW, with doing these 4-hour long pay-per-views, like all the matches, most of the matches, are really great. And like I said, they get the time to deserve, and they you know, allow people the freedom to do what they want. But when it's all exciting, something has to give and something's got to be the low point. Not based on quality, just like that energy is going to run out. And not to be a whole NXT, AEW thing, but that was something that I feel the takeovers had a strength behind them, was there was only like five, maybe 6 matches per takeover. And like, still given time, still given respect for what they want to do, but I never felt like there was a takeover match that was that quiet or like that dead, because obviously energy levels. Like, of course, there was ones that people were more invested in and like wanted to cheer for people more than Superstar X or Y, but it didn't feel like there was this big dip in energy like it did last night. And once again, it's not the talent's fault. It's not that they put on a bad match or it wasn't interesting. It's just I feel burnt out. All that energy was spent. And they had to recoup. They had to, you know, get back to it. So, unfortunately, ladies, no response there. Bret will take it over Thunder Rosa after 2 technical victories by Thunder Rosa with a pinfall and a submission. Unfortunately, with interference from Rebel and Hayter, Bret was able to retain. Now, the writing seems to be on the wall for Miss Britt Baker, at least if we're going to be, you know, really simple with this. I don't know if it's Wednesday. I don't know if it's Friday. Thunder Rosa is number 2 ranking. Hirsch is rank 3 on the ranking. Those 2 are going to fight. And then the winner of that is going to go against Britt Baker for the title again in San Antonio, Texas. Very simple booking. Thunder Rosa's from San Antonio, Texas. Let's have her win the belt at her home. Seems simple enough. So I'm guessing that's where it's going to go. Why not have her win on pay-per-view? I don't know. So there's that. Then we get Moxley and Danielson. Another great match. This one, I'm going to be honest, I was kind of in and out of. I was making dinner. But solid match from these guys, really laying in their shots. Moxley is going to get the pinfall on Danielson after reversing his triangle choke thingy. Which questionable, bro. Bryan Danielson's shoulders are on the mat while flexing. Ref, why are we not counting that? Whatever. But the real oh shit moment comes after this match. They're both bitching at each other, blah, blah, blah. I'm the better man, yada, yada, yada. They're fighting. Here comes the referees. Here comes the shitty security. Here comes William fucking Regal. Regal's there. He's all elite. He slaps the shit out of both of them. They finally shake hands. Is this going to be the new stable with Regal as like the manager, these 2 being together? I don't know if they'll expand to what Danielson was kind of teasing at with Garcia and Moriarty. It's kind of rough because they're already in groups, but at least these 2 together, that's something. All right, cool. So there was that. Then we're going to get the 6-man tornado tag match. Holy shit, was this crazy, insane, and a lot of fun. A lot more fun than I thought this match was going to be. Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Sting against the Andrade Hardy family office. Andrade, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy. Just a lot of fun. Just a big freaking car wreck of insanity of people going after each other. Obviously, it's tornado rules, so everybody's just fighting at the same time. You got Jose, the assistant, getting involved. You got Mark Quinn getting involved. You got Butcher and Blade getting involved. You got Hardy's mom getting involved. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody was there, except for Jeff. Everybody was there getting involved. Just a fun match. We get to see Sting jumping off a fucking balcony, going on to Andrade and some tables. Crazy for the 60-plus-year-old. Good for him that he's having fun. We get Sammy and Isaiah doing a fucking Spanish fly off the entrance way onto tables as well. Hopefully Isaiah's okay. Seemed like he landed a little bit harder than Sammy did. That was awesome. A little scary to see them prep for that, but that was fun. Yeah, just a good time overall. great time, good match, a lot of fun. Nothing obviously super surprising there. Good guys will go over the evil team. Yeah. And then we're going to get to our main event. We're going to get to Hangman defending his AEW World Championship against Adam Cole Bay. In the main event, should we be surprised? Adam v. Adam was great. Both of them did a great job. A lot of super kicks, a lot of rolling clotheslines, spin ones. Not the buckshot, but roll, whatever. Good stuff there. Slow, methodical, good solid hits when they counted. Finisher upon false finish upon false finish. Red Dragon will get involved later. Along with Dark Order, finally. They did really good. Paige is going to take the win over here, defeating Cole by pinfall. No surprises afterwards. I was wondering if there was going to be something building on to who's next or just somebody showing up. No surprises at the end. We get Swerve, we get Regal, that's it. But yeah, great match between the two. Would love to see it again. But excited to see where these guys go from here. It's another one where I'm like, I don't know. I don't know who's next for Paige. Seems like they're maybe teasing Punk with the post-media scrum that Punk says he wants to go for the main title, and Paige saying, he'd be happy with that. I don't know if I'd be happy with that, but is what it is. What's next for Cole? Probably dealing with this Red Dragon and Bucks drama, I guess. And then with no big returns, like Papa Griff mentions in chat, or hints at, no big returns of Kenny Omega, time will tell we're there. I mean, don't get me wrong. Man deserves his time off. Give him time to recover. We'll get there when we get there. So yes, Papa Griff brought up one more thing that did happen in the pre-show, and that was one Mr. Don Callis showing up to the event and doing a little bit of a promo. Kenny's entrance was used, almost spoiled during the Statlander match, as his Titantron was used for her Titantron until it was fixed at the last second. Yikes. So Kenny's music hits. Everybody's like, oh, Kenny's back. And then Callis comes out, everybody's booing the shit out of him. And pretty much Callis just came out, said, he, as a manager does, blowing smoke up Kenny's ass. Oh, he's the best thing that's happened in wrestling since blah, blah, blah. And he's the best wrestler ever. And he gave you 5-star after 5-star after 5-star after 5-star match. And he multiple world championship matches. Yada, 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 yada. And it's your fault that he's hurt. He was just essentially being a shitty heel promo. That was really it. Just came out to, I guess, keep the name of Kenny Omega out there. Odd thing to do with Kenny not returning, at least last night. Maybe this is signs that Kenny will be back soon, but that was essentially it. Just, oh shit, Kenny's back. Oh no, it's not this piece of shit. That was it there. But yeah, overall Revolution was fantastic. Once again, not super surprised. My only things, my big things, would be time limit, and then that TBS title match was not great. I'm sure both of those ladies can do well, and I've seen them do well. It's just that one did not go great. So it'll be interesting to see where we go from here. Like I said, Wardlow having the TNT title match guaranteed at some point. We'll have to see how that plays out with the TNT and title in view, as well as MJF in the back mirror, potentially getting revenge. And then same with Jurassic Express. We'll have to see where they go next. Who's going to step up? Is it Proud and Powerful? Is it the Acclaimed? Is it someone totally different? Like I said, the women's belt, I feel San Antonio Rosa will get it there. Kind of writes itself. And then, yeah, what's next for Hangman? Adam Page. Who's he going to fight? We'll have to see. But Wednesday, we're back at it. It all continues. Wrestling is an ever-moving thing that never stops. So it's always, what's next? Cody gonna come back? Is he in charge of Ring of Honor? Is he back in talks with WWE? Who fucking knows? We'll have to see. But Hope you guys enjoyed Revolution. If you did watch it, if you didn't watch it, give it a chance. Replays over on BR Live. You can check it out over there. And, just enjoy some dang old wrestling. Let's move on to topic 2. Topic 2, a little bit different. I want to talk about some video games. And I kind of want to talk about the Soulsborne type games. So, your Demon Souls, your Dark Souls, your Bloodborne, your Sekiro, your Elden Ring. Why these games are so loved and so hated. Now, this is coming from someone who has played some of these games. I've attempted Sekiro, gotten, from what I feel, pretty far. Attempted Bloodborne, didn't make it far at all. Started Demon Souls, and then I'm carefully watching Elden Ring and being like, dang, that looks fun, but do I want to put myself through that? Now, for those of you guys who don't know, these games are notoriously very difficult. Very difficult. And a certain part of the video game audiences love that shit. And they kind of, get off on it. Weird. But they're very vocal and defensive about how difficult these games are. Oh, this is the best game ever because it really puts gamers to the test, and I feel like blah, 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 blah. It shouldn't be accessible. There shouldn't be an easy mode. And in one way, I get it. You want a challenging experience. Totally fine. If that's your thing, you want to have this game that challenges you, totally okay. On the other side of things, obviously I understand the people who want accessibility, whether it's, making the game more accessible to people who, maybe don't have the capabilities to play it fully, have some kind of handicap to them, or just want like an easier game mode, because these games are very pretty, gorgeous games. Big, vast open worlds, interesting story behind them, and like there's a lot of content there to be enjoyed. But unfortunately, with how the games are, there's like that wall of like, you could play it, but you're only going to get so far. Maybe not even the first boss, because just, nope, some boss is too difficult. I get hit and like half of my health is gone. I totally understand that. And that can be a factor that pushes people away too. And I can attest to this as well. Sekiro. Love Sekiro. Sekiro was a great time when I played it. At a point, you can only die so much before it gets frustrating. It gets infuriating, and you don't want to play it anymore. Because why would I waste? Why would I use my time on this game where I'm not progressing? There's no forward motion. It's literally the same thing, the same result. I can try it different ways, but it's going to end up the same. And eventually you stop, you quit. Where's, it's frustrating. I get that. So what am I trying to say here? I don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass. What's the good things about the difficulty? What's the bad things about the difficulty? Obviously, we just covered the bad. Not accessible to people. Fall off of interest. Steep sometimes. What's the good part of the difficulty? Obviously, it's rewarding for the player. You accomplish something, you really put that time and effort in there. And it seems like it's that hill to climb, it's that goal to accomplish. That's great. However, there's got to be something that I feel they need to be better at, including everyone. And I know once again, the hardcore, like Soulsborne gamers hate that. And it's so weird, because I don't understand how person A's experience affects your own experience. And if you want to be petty and be like, oh, well, I conquered this game or I beat this game, like I should be on this upper echelon, treat me good, that's stupid. Like, I never go to somebody on any other game and be like, oh, what difficulty did you play that on? Did you play it on normal? Did you play it on easy? Did you play it on... No, I don't give a fuck. Did you enjoy the game? Did you enjoy the story? Did you enjoy the game mechanics? That's all I care about. I'm not like, oh, did you do a Halo 3 Legendary Edition with all the skulls turned on and play through that? Fuck no. That's difficult as shit too. No, like, it's just, it baffles me that people are like that. Once again, not against you liking a challenge. Hell, I'm playing Sifu on stream. That game's pretty challenging, but I enjoy the shit out of it. Like, it just baffles me that some people are so opposed to anyone else enjoying what they enjoy if they don't enjoy it the same way. Just odd. Just odd. But anyways, I'm getting a little bit on a tangent there. So the Soulsborne game, I think they're great because they got great story, they got great lore, and I think as someone who doesn't play them often or play them far, it is really cool to kind of experience the world just by watching it. Shout out to Maximilian Dude, A Platypus, and Chilled Chaos. These are some people that I've watched play. Max has played Bloodborne all the way through, Sekiro all the way through. Chilled and Platy have played, I believe, Demon Souls, Dark Souls a little bit. And seeing the world through their, playthroughs, just really fun. Like, seeing the insanity. I'm going to use Bloodborne, for example, and Maximilian Dude. Like, I never made it far into Bloodborne. I think I made it to boss 3, and that was my wall. That was my stopping point. And seeing the insanity of, like, that world. So it starts off with, like, this gothic, medieval-esque setting that has, like, werewolf-esque people and, monsters and stuff. Seeing the rain come down like that, sorry. Seeing the world transform into this, like, really high fantasy, but then almost alien-esque, like, people around and, like, enemies in there is just like, whoa, this game is a lot deeper than what I thought just from, like, the face value. It's really cool to see. And then from Sekiro's point of view, like, the samurai, era and that, like, setting, just fun to explore. See all of the different buildings and the structures going into the buildings, and seeing obviously also the fantasy setting of, like, some enemies just in the cave with their spirits and the souls fighting around, and the big ass giant snake that you're dealing with. Just really fun and interesting to explore. And that's something with Elden Ring coming out, the most recent of these type of games, where it's a big open world. I'm like, damn, is this something I want to jump into? And I that gameplay element, that difficulty level is like, that's what's holding me back. Not because it's difficult per se, but because I'm like, how far am I going to really make it into this? And it's a little unfortunate because there's all this to explore, but I can only see the tiny little bit for myself. Hey, so there's that. But games are very popular. Games are very exciting. Happy for the people who do get enjoying them. I'd like to play more of them or hop back into ones previously. I keep talking about Sekiro, but Sekiro is one that I personally really, really enjoyed, especially when we're playing on stream and off stream. Just kind of grinding through the same areas over and over again, building the confidence with it. Just a lot of fun to play. And yeah, you get to that point where it becomes too difficult. Boss is beating you up too bad or killing you over and over again, whatever. And thinking back on it, it's interesting how sometimes these games change how you play them. And what I mean by that is, with a lot of games, we're kind of trained almost to kind of go guns a-blazing. Shooters, duh.
But like story mode games, like progress, attack, be aggressive. And games like this, definitely, like, if you do that, there's a small window, small chance, like, you can succeed. But I feel like it's fun to see how it makes you play. And I know that sounds weird, like the makes you play. I don't feel like it's a forceful thing, but there's some times where, like, if you change how you do something, your results go skyrocket. And like the more defensive approach helps. And it's kind of fun. It's like, oh, it's almost like figuring out a puzzle. Okay, this isn't working. How do I make this work? Maybe if I, attack patterns, watch those a little bit more and figure out, okay, this is the strike that will give me an opening. Or maybe I'm a little bit more defensive and I parry or I counter, I do this. Figuring those things out, I think, adds to the rewarding experience as well for players. And that's fun. And these games do a great job of it, compared to other games where simple sounds a little bit playing down on stuff. But like you don't have to do anything a specific certain way. You're playing a shooter, just shoot the guy. You could shoot him in the head, technically, but it's not that big of a difference of like, oh, I shot him in the head 5 times. Shot him in the body 5 times. I shot him in the head once. Like, you don't see a lot of people like methodically being like, puh, 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 head, unless you're a speed runner or something like that. Like, you're not going to fail, per se, if you shoot him in the body that 5 times. Like, it's not that big of a, what's the frickin' word? Revelation that you discover, like, oh my god. Like, sometimes with these games, that's what it is. It's just like, oh, I have everything, I'm making sense, but maybe I should try it this way and go down this path instead of forcing it this way. Holy shit, that worked. That was fun. That makes me feel good, And yeah, these games, I feel, do a great job of that. Once again, that sense of accomplishment. And yeah, I don't know, I just kind of want to talk about it for a little bit and be like, hey, there's good stuff with these games, there's bad stuff with these games. That fan base. But yeah, just I wish more people could experience it for themselves in a way that they want to, because once again, there's a lot of good stuff in there. Whether it's, the boss fights and feeling that sense of reward, or it's just the lore, the world. And watching stuff, yeah, you can get that, but it doesn't feel the same. Like, I'm sure some players, this is a total sidebar game, but like The Last of Us, experiencing that for yourself, not knowing anything, you could probably get a lot more out of that than someone who's heard a lot about it and keeps hearing how it's the best game ever. Me. And like, to those people, like, I'm not jealous, but I'm like, oh, you got something out of this I did not. I'm happy for you. And I'm like, what am I missing? And every game's obviously different for people, but it's different when you experience things fresh and for yourself compared to a secondhand experience, like watching somebody. So when people are forced to do that because the game says, no, you can't play it X, Y, or Z way or at all, it's just unfortunate. So there's that. I don't know. Just a Dark Souls game rant. Having some fun talking about that. But this has been another episode of the Wait What podcast. My name is Bret, aka Enigma9011, and you can catch this podcast live usually every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You join the chat if you're a subscriber over there like Papa Griff did with us today. We'd love to have you in on the conversation. If you can't catch it live, that's A-OK. And go over to YouTube and podcast services the very next week where it drops topic by topic and is put in one big video and MP3 for your amusement on the following Friday. Last but not least, hashtag add merch store. Get all of your swag over there. T-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more. Rep the brand. Support us. We would love you for it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out today for episode 124. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed Revolution. Hope you guys enjoyed the Soulsborne talk. We'll be back for more episodes next week and the week after that and after that and after that. Thank you guys for giving this a watch, giving a listen, and we will see you guys on the next one. Take care.